Hey, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading, and I am using the Bad Bitches Tarot by Ethony for this reading. So I'm going to give these cards a good shuffle. And my intention with this week's reading is to get some fresh ideas, some inspiration for the week ahead. All right. So I'm going to draw one card, I'm going to draw three cards, and each card is going to represent an upcoming portion of the week ahead. So we'll begin with the first card, which will be Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. So here we have Eight of Wands. All right, beautiful. Okay, Eight of Wands. I love how joyful this card feels. There's a lot of movement and joy to this card. So the beginning of the week, this is a time of forward movement. It may feel like things are going too quickly. It may feel like there's lots of opportunities. It may feel like if you take one small step towards a goal, that step will count for a lot, and that you will proceed more quickly than you anticipate. I think of like coffee and caffeine when I see this card. It's like you can be so much more focused and productive at the beginning of the week, more so than you usually are. So that's good news. And again, I just want to kind of reiterate this. Any steps that you take at the beginning of the week towards, your goals or whatever, will have more of an impact than you think. Okay, let's have a look at the middle of the week. Eight of Wands is also about communication and clearing the lines of communication. So beginning of the week is also a good time to, if there's any important communication that you have to make, whether that's a conversation or a phone call or an email or a text, beginning of the week is a good time to do that. Okay, the Devil. This is for the middle of the week. I love her dress, very sexy. Okay, so we have the Devil for midweek, and I feel like she's being hidden here. Okay, so Wednesday, Thursday-ish, we have the Devil. Now the Devil is a major arcana card, and whenever it comes up in a reading, it's because there are certain limitations and restrictions that you have on your life that you have outgrown. It's ready, you're ready to take a look at those things and shed those limitations and those things that are keeping you down and holding you back. What's interesting is that the Devil comes after the Eight of Wands. And with the Eight of Wands, I said that there's this speed and energy, things happening quickly. And it's almost like that brings up, it's like when things are happening quickly and the energy is flowing, you become more aware of certain limitations. It becomes more obvious. So middle of the week, it's a time to check in and ask yourself, what areas do I feel like I'm kind of stuck or being held back? And another aspect of the Devil is seduction. And this Devil is a sexy devil. She's very seductive. And oftentimes we are seduced by things that end up not being good for us, that end up thwarting our growth and standing in our way. And another aspect of the Devil is seduction. And this Devil is a sexy devil. She's very seductive. And oftentimes we are seduced by things that end up not being good for us, that end up thwarting our growth and standing in our way. And, 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 the devil always asks you, what, I want to say like, what illusions have you bought into recently? Or, what seems to be, I'm trying to think of the right way to word this so it will make sense. Pay attention to what is seducing you right now. So if I ask myself this question, what is seducing me in my life? What is kind of pulling me in? It could be a substance, could be alcohol, could be sugar. It's definitely sugar. It could be just like the online world, going online. It could be social media. It could be TV shows. Something that is kind of pulling me in, where I feel this sort of seductive pull. But I know that thing isn't good for me. It's not great. So paying attention to kind of those things, I think, will be helpful this week. Because I think we have a real opportunity to transcend those things and break some old patterns and old habits that aren't helping us move forward anymore. And that's really what's interesting about the Eight of Wands and then the Devil. It's like this forward movement, this focus and energy that we have in the beginning of the week, that just brings into stark contrast the habits and patterns that are keeping us stuck. We become more aware of them. So we have the Seven of Wands for the end of the week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have the Seven of Wands. So that's cool. We have the Eight and the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands. Okay, there's a few things with this card. This card is saying, stand your ground. And I think that this relates in many ways to, because sometimes when this card comes up, it can relate to like relationships, and it could be about standing your ground in relationships or standing your ground at work. But in this case, I feel like this is more about the relationship you have with yourself and your habits and your patterns and your addictions. So if you're trying to break a habit or overcome a pattern in your life that isn't helpful for you anymore, the Seven of Wands is saying, be strong and stand your ground and persevere. Don't back down at the first sign of difficulty. You need to be somewhat persistent here. So I can relate to this. I've been trying to cut out sugar recently, and I'm really struggling with it. And I went a few days without eating sugar, and then I ate some sugar, and then I kind of wanted to give up. And I thought, nope, just because I haven't been able to stick to this perfectly is not a reason to completely give up. So I'm definitely sticking to my guns and standing my ground with the no sugar thing. Okay, so Seven of Wands is saying, stand your ground, don't back down. But it's also about defensiveness and feeling defensive. So sometimes the Seven of Wands can come up for us when we feel this need to defend ourselves or prove ourselves to others. And the Seven of Wands is saying, the only person you need to prove yourself to right now is you. And it's going to be helpful if you stand your ground in the relationship you have with yourself, specifically as it relates to overcoming unhelpful habits and patterns. But notice if you're feeling defensive in other relationships, or if you're feeling defensive when you're at work. Because the Seven of Wands is saying, you want to kind of avoid that as much as you can and focus more so on, I think, cultivating kind of inner power and inner strength. Okay, so let's have a look at all three of these cards. And you can chime in anytime here in the comments section and share your own take on these cards. I always love to hear how other people see the cards. So feel free to do that if you wish. And I'm just going to look at these cards to see if there's anything else that's jumping out at me. It feels like a very strong, powerful week. There may be some temptation this week to go down a path that isn't helpful to you. So you can be on guard for that. But you're going to be blessed with, or I shouldn't say it like that. There's a probability, a high probability that you'll have a little more focus and energy this week, at least at the beginning of the week. So you want to tap into that as much as you can. And like I said, actions that you take in the beginning of the week will have more oomph to them than normal. And what I'm getting from this card is that you are strong. You can stand your ground. You're strong. And standing up for yourself isn't the same as being insecure and defensive. So that defensiveness that I talked about, the Seven of Wands, can come from a place of insecurity. But ideally, you want that standing your ground, standing up for yourself kind of action and energy to come from a place of feeling whole and strong with both feet firmly planted on the ground. And that's what I'm noticing the pattern here. Here she's kind of running and skipping. The devil is walking sexily, but when we get to the end of the week, both feet are firmly planted on the ground. And so there is this kind of grounding that happens throughout the week. So that looks cool. All right, so thank you so much for watching. You can find, if you're interested in learning more about tarot cards and tarot reading, you can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put the link below this video. I've got tons of fun stuff on my website for you to check out. Again, this is the Bad Bitches Tarot by Ethony that I've used for this reading. And I hope that you have a wonderful week, and thank you so much for watching.